I wish more people were self aware or at least honest with themselves about the centers of their aesthetic being very conventional. And not that it's devaluing or a bad thing, quote unquote, but it becomes problematic when it is the yardstick by which they measure other people's aesthetic or style explorations. I watched this video where a creator was talking about an item that women are wearing or that is mostly worn by people who explore with androgynous aesthetics or androgynous styles. And there's finding something not particularly fitting your taste or not something you are attracted to, but to call it not fashionable. And then to immediately follow it by it makes women look masculine or it's not feminine. With that phrasing, I immediately clocked what this person centers in their aesthetic. It is very interesting because the yardstick by which they were determining if this item is fashionable or not fashionable was through convention, gender performance, and the normativity of a certain orientation. And as a person who studies fashion culture and aesthetics and the way people interpret them extensively, and who has also written a book as a dedication to the devotion to studying fashion aesthetics and fashion culture, don't ask me about visuals of tradition. I don't have answers for you, by the way. I find the practice of calling something not fashionable or the multiple ins and outs videos where people will use their aesthetic as the center. Style choices are very subjective. Style choices are very subjective, and not only that, they have multiple meanings and interpretations. So imaginez monotrance or outrage when this person with a very monolithic style expression uses that monolithic style expression as a yardstick for what is fashionable and what is not. We all have our icks, we all have the things that we don't like, but this is an invitation for the people who just adopt trends or style choices to reflect about the center from which they're adopting them. So I was watching this video by Fumi Monet, an incredible fragrance artist that I watch here, and she talked about how she doesn't find her style fashionable and that she adopts style choices is basically informed of how she wants her body to be perceived, not necessarily from like a creative or aesthetic exploration. I found it very admirable for her to be very self-aware and to analyze her style, to acknowledge the center from which it comes from. And I wish some of you would have that honesty with yourselves too. I wish more of you were very honest about what is at the center of certain things that you adopt. And I feel like it would also be a great reflection space to understand why you consume the way you consume and what has informed it, and so you can understand the things or just the messages that you have internalized that you're not necessarily aware of. Clock it.